7 minutes to drive to her place with my computer. I would just bring my computer in the car.
Yeah.
Oh, but I'm isolating or whatever.
Oh, quarantining.
Well, no, not, I mean, I'm just being cautious.
Oh my God.
I mean, like sometimes a blessed day and I forget that there's a pandemic, you know, for a few hours. And then it's like, oh, that's right.
Right. Yeah. It's just like, but I mean, like going grocery shopping's still okay, isn't it?
I don't, but that's just me. Well, actually, my husband does the grocery shopping and he had a stroke, so he always orders them. So
Okay.
it didn't change for him because he can't drive.
Right.
He's very proficient,
Yeah.
considering, yeah.
Wow. That's too bad for Mickey. I mean, she's been doing this for so long, and then to have something going wrong, you almost don't know what you can troubleshoot, you know, like.
So I don't know if this will help, Karen, but it said join meeting.
Yes.
I've never done it this way. Join meeting and ID, and I clicked on join meeting,
Right.
had some numbers in it, and it just came through. I've never done it that way.
Okay. Okay, so I did. And it's, no, I invited you, I invited you
Right.
on the only way
Everyone
I,
has their mugs.
Huh?
We can have a morning energy toast. Here's to a productive week, rest of the week.
I did. Okay,
Are you a coffee drinker, Sandy?
yeah, and I sent one to you want me to send an email?
Only until noon. Otherwise, I can't sleep at night.
Okay.
Okay,
I drink.
What you?
but do you want the email? Do you want
I drink
Huh?
tea,
the Gmail?
but I put like lots of tea bags
Okay.
in. So and then
This is
milk and
crazy.
sugar.
We drink herbal tea at night. Lots of it.
Oh, I like, so I studied in England, and so that's where I
I'm
like
sending
the
it.
black tea thing with with milk and sugar.
Oh yeah, I like that too. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's very delicious.
What herbal tea do you like?
Sleepy time, chamomile, peppermint, orange spice.
Oh, wow. Mix it up.
Okay, admit.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
We drink it
Don't
all
come here
evening.
when she comes in.
Pardon?
Wait.
Okay, don't you just feel like we won? Thank you for being so patient, Karen Carson.
She's been in Zoom hell.
Oh my
You're
God.
in that. No, those like Dante's rings of.
But her hair looks good.
I know, I'm
Yeah.
like, oh God, I can't do things backwards. Okay.
Look at that hair. Woo!
I know I look like I'm crazy from being outside. Okay, give me
Wonderful.
the update. How is everybody? Thanks, Mom, for doing that, by the way.
You're
Yeah.
welcome.
Good job, Karen. And
Yeah.
Who else did we lose? We have everybody, right?
We haven't lost anyone.
We haven't
Okay.
lost. Yeah, Danny
We
Danny
gained
just texted me. She's got to go to the doctor real quick.
Oh, okay. There was
So
somebody else that was
Maybe.
on before it by phone, but I don't
Oh,
know who
yeah.
he was.
Oh, maybe you know, but we don't.
oh
Yeah. it would be
no, so there was
Huh?
a Carlos Diaz.
Mhm.
That was the name on my picture.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Oh.
Jamie
And then-
is who we were expecting, Mom.
Does that make sense?
Damien?
Yeah.
Damien, yep.
So we'll see if you can find her. Okay, give me the update. So we're a little behind, but I've got your class ready. And did you
Good
guys
job.
already do intros before I got here?
No. We
Just
were,
bonding chatting.
We chatted.
Oh, you're just blindly chatting. Oh God.
Bonding chat. We raised our coffee
We're
mugs.
drinking coffee.
Oh wow, everybody.
I have
Wow.
tea. Yeah, we raised our mugs.
I have
My
my, This is my favorite that like you can't find anywhere is
Ooh.
pineapple bubbly.
Wow.
Ooh,
And I found some
tropical.
in this like Jack Little store. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I'll take. So like I bought 3 cases. Where I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm that crazy lady. All right, Sandy, let's start with you. Give me your update. How are things? Busiest season for home buying.
Yes, I'm, yeah,
Really?
so I've had a good year. I've had my best year ever,
Right.
Wow.
the best year that I've ever had. And I'm not complaining, but there's a big award at Remax that I've never received. I've never hit that level, and I'm only about 10,000 away, but
I'll buy a house just so you can get it.
I know.
Wow.
So yeah, I mean, if everything closes this year that's supposed to, I'll be about 10,000 away. So it's like, I'm not shutting out the possibility, you know, because things can happen. I could get a cash sale, something. So anyway, keep it in mind.
Oh gosh. Well, we'll
Yeah, it's
send
been
all that love.
Yeah. So it's been a great year, and it hasn't been overwhelming. You
Yeah.
know, it's been a nice pace. I mean, there's been times of stress and like working constantly, but it hasn't been, you know, that like I'm gonna die thing. It's been great. And Nikki, you know, Nikki, she helps me a lot. She helped get my niece's house ready for sale just the last couple weeks, and it sold over the weekend with 3 unbelievable offers. Inspections today, so fingers crossed.
Wow.
That one
Wow.
closes in January, but
Yeah.
anyway, so
Well,
what else is
maybe
going on?
it's
I got a new, pardon?
Maybe you can speed it up.
I know. Can we just close on the 30th of December, please? So I got that new kitty, and he's just adorable, and we love him so much. And my family's healthy. I've had a few friends that have gotten sick, and you guys, you know some of them. And but you know,
Oh, Kitty!
Oh,
On cue.
yes, you're the best. You're
Can't
the
thank
best.
you.
so anyway, so that's all. I mean, I'm happy and
Good.
feeling good.
Now,
Happy
this
to
is
be
the
here.
pace that you had dreamed of, and it isn't that bad, is it?
It's awesome.
So
It's
I like the way that you can kind of reprogram your mindset, and that
Right.
you have enough tools. One of the things that I was thinking about, not just because of Nikki, but that you've worked really hard to put in infrastructure. Like if we were going to look at, you know, what you've built in the last 5 to 7 years, this is when it paid off.
That's true. Yeah.
So, you know, this is a great, on today's conversation, that's what I really want you to kind of look at is
Okay.
the pieces that you've built for infrastructure paid off right now.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yes.
So, and what was the biggest payoff?
Just feeling like I have support.
Yep.
Like I have a transaction coordinator, and
Amazing.
she's very skilled and experienced, and I can completely trust her.
Mhm.
And that's huge to have
That's a
her
big
take
deal.
care of that paperwork.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then that the marketing stuff, the Facebook, I mean, anyway, the marketing stuff that I don't want to do and I can't do. You know, I've had a lot of help with that.
Yep.
And what's the third thing? The third thing is Nikki being able to show houses for me, and also being able to help people get organized when I can see that they need the help, and just sending her over.
Right.
And she's so good with people, and except
Right.
the last day she was at my niece's house, she said my niece wouldn't give her eye contact, but you know, that's my niece's problem.
Right. Well, because she may be going through grief, right?
Exactly. Yes, exactly. Yeah. So
But
having support and being able to trust the support.
right.
That's
And
great.
an infrastructure, right? I mean, that now you have
Yeah.
somebody that can manage the paperwork. You have somebody that can, you know, that your Facebook is coming up all the time. You have a newsletter that's coming out. You're doing your outreach regularly. Your books are in order. Your finances are good. You,
Mhm.
you know, you have someone on the ground that can help you with a multitude of tasks. You have someone for staging. You have someone for repairs. you built this list forever, and they're
Right.
all being called upon when things are busy.
True. Yes.
And
Yes.
that is, why you've been working really hard for the last, you've worked hard a long time. I mean, there's no doubt,
Mhm.
but you've really put effort in real specific areas since you started coming to class, even.
Mm-hmm.
And
True.
that just saying, oh yeah, I got to use my time differently, or I have
Right.
to have a system, and those systems cost money,
Mm-hmm. Yep. Mm-hmm.
and you're still making, so you're going to invest in things that cost money, and you're still making more money. You didn't lose any money by hiring the right people.
Right. Right.
No, because they built your capacity, right?
Mhm.
And that's actually what you're having. I was actually really glad when I saw you, because you're a great, this year for you would be a great lesson of what is capacity building,
Okay.
right? That you
Yeah.
had all these stupid little tasks that you're like, oh, I got to do that. I got to do that. I got to do that. I got to do that.
Mm-hmm.
But that is why you built it, is so that you could build capacity.
Right.
You could take on more transactions. Because
Yeah.
if you hadn't, you would be crazy and uncomfortable.
Right. Yeah. I mean, just to be doing paperwork till 10 o'clock at night or something.
Yeah, that's no fun.
Right.
And that
Burnout.
doesn't help your end customer.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Right. So I just want to give you kind of some double kudos today. And I think we could do a group clap there.
Thank
because
you.
that's so noticeable. So noticeable. Okay,
Thank you.
Donna, you've had lots of stuff going on. Give us your update.
Sure. I mean, the hardwood floors, there's still like furniture where it doesn't belong, but we're being very judicious about what goes in, and then starting to sift through the stuff that's got pushed out of the room and like is not welcome to come back. And I've actually enjoyed doing some of this. And so then I set up an office space in this room that had previously become quite cluttered. It's now an empty open room, and I've set up my day job office space. And it's like awesome. It's just a really awesome little space with great views, and the sun comes in from these windows. I didn't even know that. So that part is nice. I need all the help I can get with my day job as far as staying engaged with it. And, for many years I thought, oh, I want soccer birds to take off and I can quit my day job. I can fire my boss.
Right.
And the truth is I only have 3.5 years left to pay on this house. And I'm like, how about we word this differently? I'm going to keep that day job until my house is paid for, period. Like that's,
Right.
So that has helped me to like settle into my day job better. And just things are still in there. Gosh, what's the word for Nido tree this year? The last buddy call, Mickey, we talked
Well,
about
it would be magnification would have been my pick.
the magnification, and that has I've worked that, and I've been like, okay, is what I'm doing right now magnifying anything? And if so, what? And boy, that's helped me to change course during the day, to be like, no, I want to magnify. And then the really fun punchline is that I need to magnify fun,
Yeah.
which has been and which is just kind of like, well, why am I making that so hard? Like,
Right. Fun up.
Fun
Right.
up.
Yeah, that's a quote from, over there, Karen
Yeah.
Karsten.
Well,
That's a Karen Karsten quote.
that's
Which
Fun
quote? Fun up. Yes.
fun up.
Fun up.
That's mine now too.
Yeah. I have a button. I have a button that says, "Are we having fun yet?"
Yes.
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 Yeah. Well, good. And anything else you want to share with the group?
That's about it. Just seems like 2020 is kind of just short on new things. I'll just
Right.
go with the hardwood floors and be like, woot, woot.
Yeah. So
It's
I'd
huge.
like to kind of respond to that, because I have gotten to talk to you in between when these guys didn't, which is, so Donna went through and and decided, right, that she's going to go do a task in her house that she'd been putting off. She's been living there more than 20 years.
24.
Yeah. So she wasn't going to do this task because, oh, it was going to be so much. And then, right, the right things started coming in. So she got exactly what she needed at the price that she actually needed it for. She got to hit her values, which means that she could actually tip.
Yeah.
You know, to be like, no, I value you more. I can pay you more than you asked for.
Right.
And then to also process all of the physicality of stuff, right?
Yeah.
That stuff is a big deal for everybody, right? It just sort of builds up.
Yeah.
You know, I'm a paper person, so I love pieces of paper, right? And everybody just sort of, you know, stacks things and so forth. And once you moved that out and she cleaned up that floor, it turned out beautifully. You found what you had lost.
Oh yeah. I have my beautiful favorite pair of glasses. Been lost for more than a year. The guys found it under one of the radiators.
Yeah. So found what she had lost, and then really got a chance to say, is this me anymore?
Yeah.
You know, and that room just suddenly lit up with new energy because the
Yeah.
sun could reflect and it could be something different. And so when we talk about environment, right, today in a business model, that's really, you're seeing the benefit of environment.
Right.
Right.
Oh yes.
That where you work, how you work, is it dusty, is it cloudy, is it whatever, is really going to inspire you to work differently.
Yeah.
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 And that's a big deal for you, is environment.
Yes.
So
Yes.
kudos to you.
Thank you,
Kudos.
Mickey. That was a great reminder that it was, the hardwood floors were kind of manifested. They came about very quickly.
Yep.
And now they're done. and yeah, it is a new chapter. It's wonderful.
And again, I think that's really helpful for everybody, is that, you know, when something is the right direction, the energy that's needed to do that will present itself. It's not like you had to, you know, call it up. It just presented itself for you.
Right. And I got to say, Mickey, thank you for expounding on Sandy's thing. When Sandy said, I've had my most successful year ever. It's just like, oh, there goes success. Like, that's what that looks like. And then you back it up and open the view into the infrastructure that's been put in place to make that happen.
Right.
Is like, it's so easy to hear about other people's success and be like, I want that. And it's like, well, then what you want is all this other stuff that you've been working on for all those years. So I appreciate hearing about the backstory. You know, an overnight success is never overnight.
Well, and Sandy, I think that's also fair for you to respond to, because there were a lot of times that you didn't like doing all that stuff. And you did it.
Yeah. You mean the stuff that the paperwork, or just
Well,
get
all of it,
everything in
like
place?
building infrastructure, you know, like,
Right.
where's this going to go? This isn't going to lead to anything, right? Your list.
Yeah. It's a big, well, yeah. I mean, like hiring an assistant, that was a whole big thing that it's like, how do I even do this? You know,
Yeah.
Right.
All the steps involved in selecting somebody and what do I need, and picking somebody, and yeah, I guess I got the right person. She's been with me for 2 years.
Nice.
And she hasn't gotten sick of me, and she's got my back, you know.
Nice.
So
You know, it is. So I just want to let you know, sometimes when you're telling your story, it's always important for all of us to hear the whole story,
Right.
because we all fight for all of this all the time.
Right.
Okay, Janet Mills, you know, I'm looking to you.
could I share one more thing?
Oh yeah.
I'm sorry. So my husband was super irritated that I didn't include him in my thankful list, because he does help me a lot in my business.
Oh my gosh, he does.
A lot. Like, I just go and tell him to do stuff, and then he does it. Like putting up a sign or taking down a sign, or,
Big deal.
you know.
It's official, husband included.
I know, he's in the other room now. He's out
Okay.
again.
Well, you know what? We can do kind of when he comes back in, we can do a group moment to go, hey, Bruce, we all want to tell you. Yeah. So when we see him, we'll just all thumbs up him.
Sounds good.
Because he helps all the time. I mean, I get to see him on Project Elf too. So, you know,
Yeah.
he's a bit of a badass.
Okay.
See,
So
he's
when he comes back
magic.
in, we'll do that. Yeah.
Okay.
We'll give him a love up.
Yeah.
Janet Mills, give me your update.
Well, first of all, I'm inspired by Sandy's structure she's put in place. And then Donna getting her floors done and making a separate workspace. So she has a workplace. Otherwise, for me, I will look at my whole living room and go work, you know, so I have it separated out. It seems really exciting to me. I was really focused on working, and then I got finished a day ago. And so I don't want to start crying, but just a pile of just like regular grade 6 level paperwork that to me looks like it's in Portuguese. So like I said last time, like I renewed my LLC. It took 45 seconds. I wasn't tricked by the thing I got in the mail. You get a form
Right.
Good one.
all filled out and it's $55 or whatever, write your check.
95. It was $95.
Yeah. Well, I wasn't tricked by that because it's free at the Minnesota Secretary of State.
Yeah.
So I started doing some of that icky work yesterday, and it wasn't hard. And then so yesterday was our 30-year anniversary at our house, and
Wow.
so there's no pictures on. I have the pictures, but they're not, and I have the frames, but I have dreams, but they're not up. And and we have to Marie Kondo. So like that's what my husband and I want to do right now for a few days. Just like I'll probably start crying. Just like would be so exciting to have a little time to do that.
Yeah.
And the floors are not going to happen, but they really need it.
Right. Well, I'm voting we send Bruce over to do the picture hanging.
Okay, when the time comes.
Right.
Jeremy's
Right.
like, you have to clean up before you get the like dessert, you know, because I'm like, can't I just paint? And then I go, oh, you know, I'm just gonna move everything instead of getting rid of it.
Yeah. Yeah. That's fine.
So I can't tell you how exciting it would feel to get rid of stuff, and I've saved a lot of money so that I could make. Well, I paid for our sidewalks yesterday, $1,100. But-
Wow.
Because they redid our sidewalks. So anyway,
Wow. So you've been saving money like crazy.
a little bit just by holding back, but that's
Give
not
me a
so much-
B. Give me an R.
Oh
Give me
yeah.
a
Hold on. We're going in there. Okay. Woo! We're doing a kudos to Bruce today
Oh, thank you.
for all you do, all the stuff that we don't, you know.
Don't
I
we?
don't know why
Yes.
you don't come to our meeting.
Well, I'm not a woman, among other things.
Oh, guys can come.
Well, guys are here. I thought it was a woman thing. Sorry.
Oh no, you can come. We can love you up too.
All right.
But we just wanted to just give you the kudos because you
Oh,
worked
yeah.
so hard to do so many great things.
Well, thank you, everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good
Now,
work.
I've left the cat in the backyard. This is a violation.
Oh, gosh, okay.
Backyard. Oh,
Oh, okay. All right, bye.
Bye, honey.
Wow,
Sorry,
this is a
Janet.
violation.
Indoor cat. Okay. Sorry,
I
Janet.
want to learn a lesson with Mickey.
So Janet, what else is going on? How are you growing?
Well, I'm at a point where I'm like open to growth. So I have a Sony photography workshop virtual this
Good.
weekend. I need to upgrade my software. I need to figure out, I have like a lot of stuff that, you know, you just put aside when you're busy because you
Yep.
can't. So I'm an open door with many dreams and hands-on projects that I need to do.
Great. So a couple of days of sun would really do you well. Right? Just give you that burst of energy. Yeah. Well, good. Okay, I'm going to go on to.
I want to hear your sleep lesson.
You want to hear my, oh, yes, well, let's go to
Awesome.
Karen.
Oh,
Karen,
yeah,
what are you
Karen and
doing?
you. Karen
Yes,
and you.
yes, yes.
Good morning. Well, I've been going through the many joys of Zoom here.
So good.
I have no idea what happened to you, Mickey, but I was on another meeting where the same thing happened, and she never did come back. So we got you back. Yay!
Well, the code it gave me the second time was not the same code it gave me the first time.
Isn't that weird?
That's why I kept trying to text you. This is a Zoom issue. This isn't a you and me issue.
Well, you know what I think I figured out is I have a Zoom program on my computer,
Mhm.
and I clicked on that, and that made him think that that made it think that I was in the meeting there. And you came in about that same time.
Yeah.
And I did email Kathy Corrigan and Shimona, and I didn't hear back from them. So
Well, this will record, so we can send them the
yeah,
recording anyway.
I know. Yeah. But I like to see their faces.
So
I
in this recording, we'll just say, hello, you guys.
Hi, yes, we miss you.
Hi,
We miss
Kathy.
you.
Hi, Julian.
We keep putting in the chat box.
So I just finished a memoir writing program with the Brooklyn. No, that's not it. With the Bronx Library. And I sent in for the Brooklyn Library has a program that's been going on for many years called Sketchbook.
Oh yeah,
And
I love this program. Have you guys
And
heard of this?
Huh?
Has everybody here heard of this program? Okay, Karen, it's so good. This is
Yeah.
gonna be your,
They send you a little, you pay, it's $35 just for a plain journal, and you fill it out. It's small, it's a small one, so there's not a lot of pages, and it's a small size, so it's handy. You can take it around with you. And then you mail it back to them, and they put it in their library. If you pay them an extra $30, they digitize it, and so you can always see it. The first time I did it, I didn't copy anything in it. I just sent it in, and I thought, what? So you would have to go to Brooklyn to see it, and they have all the sketchbooks that they've ever done. I think there's 50,000 of them in the library in these bookcases, alphabetical.
Yeah.
And so you could go there and see it forever, or you can pay the money, and then you would have your own digital copy of your.
so these are amazing. So if you guys haven't heard of this program, these are artists and creatives from all over the world that have put in these little sketchbooks. I think it's 6 pages, right?
No, it's more than that.
Oh,
I think it's
maybe
about
12.
30. No, it's
Yeah,
maybe
so
30.
they're amazing. They are amazing, and they're every different style and so forth. So I definitely look it up. I mean, it is one of the coolest artistic shared pieces because it's physical. It's a physical.
Yeah.
You can go to the library and physically read these sketchbooks, and they're just amazing. They're amazing.
But I wouldn't go to Brooklyn right now. Not the
Good
best
plan.
place.
Farms there, by the way.
Right.
So I was one of the other groups that I'm in is run by Marnie Makrodakis, and she's extremely creative. So she had us do a thing which I've done before, where you start with "Once upon a time there was a woman who," and that's you. You know, there was a woman named Karen, and every day she until one day. And so it's a very interesting exercise to try sometime.
Yeah, I love this.
So you put in your problem. Every day she would, not do her floors or whatever. And every day she would not do her floors. Every day she would not do her floors until one day a miracle dropped in and her floors got done.
Right. I like it.
So
I like it.
And I had a very nice, very quiet Thanksgiving. Michael and me and the 12-pound turkey. And we had a very nice time, Mickey and I. We drove up to her sister's, my other daughter. You probably didn't know I had another daughter, but I do. She's 5 years older than Mickey, and she lives in Grantsburg, Wisconsin. And she has 3 children, all of them tall, very tall.
So
So
tall.
when they take pictures of me, they have to all sit down and I stand up.
Right.
So
Yeah.
Mickey took a lot of pictures of them and my 2 great grandsons in their sequin jackets. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very funny.
Very fun.
And they're also tall. So, well, your sister's tall. She's about 5'11", I think. And then all of her children are over 6 feet, and they're 2 of them are women. You know, like Kendra's what, 6'4"?
6'4", yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
And Serena looks short next to her. And so Serena's about 6'2".
Serena's 6'2", yeah.
Yeah. And Bob,
She's
I
the
haven't
shorty of
seen
the
in a long
bunch.
time. Yeah. So I have a family of Amazons.
Yeah. My nephew is 6'6". Yeah. He's really
Yeah.
tall.
Oh, yeah.
So Karen is the oldest matriarch in our family and the shortest. So we just start from her and move upward.
Yep.
Yeah.
just
But
all
you just
stand
have
in a
to
line.
enjoy that. You know, I've been short all the time. So
Yeah.
somebody on Facebook said that, it was, I can't remember. She said that she's 5 foot and she's having trouble with, ladders are her friend now.
Yes.
And I told her the truth, which is everybody over 5 feet tall is actually 5 feet tall when you knock all the bullshit out of them.
Right.
So, yep. So there.
So funny. All right. Well, I'm going to get us into class. I'll give you a quick update on me. As you know, Karen told you that I've been really busy. Can't believe how popular the 10 things I like about today posts have been going. That has just surprised me. I just started it in August. I hadn't done the I Selfie series in 2020. It just didn't feel like it wasn't coming. So then I started the 10 things that I like about today. So I've had 66 posts. So that's 660 images of what the hell am I liking about my day. So that's been very interesting. But what's been the most interesting is how many people started paying more attention to how good they have it. You know, how good they have it. Sometimes just loving a warm cup of coffee or holding your cat or having new something, right? Or rearranging. Like you forget how many like awesome things happen just in your everyday life. I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy. So I've been doing that. Yes, I just did a photo shoot for my niece, which it was getting my nephews to hold a secret for 4 months. So that was a huge thing because we had picked out. They come every summer to stay at Auntie Mickey's house, and Mark gives them permission to stand on our roof. So they think that is really cool because they live on a farm. So if you stand on the farm, if you stand where they are, it's farmland everywhere. That's all you see. But if you stand on our roof, you can see that guy grilling and you can see that lady with her dog and you can look up and there's airplanes and you can look over and there's like, a telephone pole, so it's magic. It's magic to be at Auntie Mickey's house. And there's stores. And Brandon's highlight is there's gas station food. That he doesn't get gas station food. So when you go to a gas station here in the city, they have those crummy cheeseburgers, which I call gray burger, because I don't know what it is.
The hot dog is going round and round.
Oh yeah, and the hot dogs that swing around. Yeah, those are. I mean, there's so much to eat at a gas station in the city, and so they like to go down. And the other one likes to go to Starbucks, And so he was sitting there, and he was like just scrolling through on the iPad, right? Because we have an iPad, So, just scrolling through to go, what will I order? What will I order? And I'm like, well, what are you going to order? And he's like, I'm really stuck between these 3 items. And I said, well, it's not which one, it's which day. Because you've got 3 days here. You can have all of them. And he's like, right.
Wow.
Right. So, he would walk all the way down, get himself that. So we have a special time that we come through together. And their mother is sure that the Starbucks one just turns into a brat because he's got it too good here. He's got his own room. He's got Starbucks every day. He can, like he knows he's going to go to the city, right? And his mother's like, when you come back to this house, you got to come back to these rules. You don't get to live, the high life at Auntie Mickey's, who's got nothing else to do but love you, right?
And you never get to stand on the roof.
Never get to stand on the roof. Yes. But we made him wash all the skylight windows while he was up there. So it was great. And the first question I asked was, are you insured? Do you guys have health insurance? Spoken like a true old lady. So their mother always wants pictures of them matching outfits. So every Christmas I'll send matching something for them. And of course they don't wear them because they don't want matching outfits. They like their clothes, but they won't wear them together because
Right.
they don't want that. So we made this deal over the summer and I bought them sequin jackets.
Black.
Yeah, black sequin jackets. They're so fantastic to me. To me. And as luck would have it, there was a dress that we found at Macy's. So we bought that for their mother, knowing that she wouldn't like it much. But none of us had remembered that she's 6'4", so it's a top.
Yeah, it's a tunic.
It's a tunic. So she's like, I'm gonna get cold, and I'm like, you just keep those jeans on. That's just fine. So we get all done. So I had to call her the night before to be like, okay, so you remember I'm coming, right? We're gonna do this, and is there any way you would consider these couple of items, these poses, posing? And she's like, boy, that, okay, maybe. And so she wasn't going to get on the trampoline. She was not going to do a cartwheel. She was not, like, all the things that she's like, no, yes. So I it was even. So the boys, I put them on the trampoline and just took their pictures, and they came out just so cute. But it was like, okay, you guys, I need you to, like, look really happy, because this is so every time that they were being a little schmutzy about doing stuff, their mom would just point at them and say, don't you ruin my Christmas gift from Auntie Mickey. Don't you ruin my Christmas gift from Auntie Mickey. So yeah, so that's what I've been doing. And then I had an art project that I delivered to one of the dog parks. So we had, I think
That was so cool.
yeah, I
Cool.
think we had 50 different people put in for that. So if you wanted to possibly come in later, that we're still hanging them whenever somebody drops them off because everybody was so late.
They're tags. They're small. So
Yeah, they're little
it's not a
tags.
big art project, but yeah.
So I don't know if any of you go down to Fort Snelling. So I have built, I don't know, it's probably the 3rd or 4th year. It's probably the 4th year now. A teepee with sticks.
Yeah.
That you can be in. So then this year I put an addition on, so now it's 2 teepees. But the park has not torn them down all of these years, and then people come and they play in them, and it's really fun. So I built one at this dog park in North, because that's where my son brings his dog, so I'm always there. And so it's right by, it's not that far from you, Donna. It's down on Osseo, and so on Penn. So it's when Penn turns into Osseo.
Okay, yeah.
There's a big dog park there, right as you go into Brooklyn.
Okay.
So right off of Memorial Drive.
Mhm.
And so when I was gone, I had started this stick house, and because there's nowhere to go, like it's just hot and cold, and like it's this big open space that you have nowhere to hide from the heat or the sun, and you have nowhere to hide from the wind. So I built these little two of these little stick houses. I just started them. When I came back, people had finished them. It was so great. So then I put out a call to everybody that I needed boughs because I wanted them to be really, you know, kind of wintry, fluffy. So I got those done when I got back. Sent out a note because I wanted like a little hut, like a Gilligan's Island hut, you know, where you could go in and sit there and you could see all the ways, because COVID has really let people and their dogs, like the dogs have gotten so many people through COVID, that are pets, you know, whether it be a cat, like how thankful you are to have something to hold and love and hug. So we invited people to just talk about that and put it on this little note. And so some people put a picture of their dog or just little stories. They're just little, but you can sit in there. And so now I've had it enough where nobody knows it's me that did it. And it's me and all these other people, because they, you know, they put the name of their dog or whatever, but you know, it's just their own thing. So I posted it on Facebook. So if you don't,
it's posted on Facebook. You should go look.
You can go look.
Even a video. She has a video of it.
Yeah, the little video of all the things. So I went back yesterday with my son who hadn't seen it. And the one that his girlfriend did for his dog, I put right on the front so that he could see it. And he just looks over and he's like, "Hey, that's my dog." And I'm like, "Yeah, that's the fun of art." And he's like, "I like this more now." So, you know, people can kind of find what's their deal. So that's what I've been doing, is laughing a lot during COVID, because it's a lot going on. So anyway, I'm going to get us to class. Any questions for me before we get rolling?
You know,
No.
I just wanted to talk about, I have an artist friend named Kat Corrigan, and she does 30 dogs in 30 days.
Oh,
Cats in 30 days. She has these themes and she's brilliant. So this in November, she did 30 homes in 30 days.
oh,
Send me your picture of your home and I will paint it, and then you can commission it from me. So this is a brilliant, as well as bring in, you know, like it's just it's such a great idea. So I now have an oil painting. It's probably 6 by 10. I don't have it yet. I don't know for sure, but it's an oil painting, and I paid $110 for it. I'm going to go pick it up today, and I'm going to hang a hand painted portrait of my house in my new living room.
Oh.
And I just was like, oh, this is such a rich chick idea, you know, to put all your people out there. Like, you don't have to buy your picture, but what are the chances that you're not going to buy the portrait of your pet? That's been, I mean, she just does a really fantastic job. Obviously she's fast too, but I know that she was, anyway, she's very much into that, the art shanty and the art cards. And so she's into that community art projects. And so I just wanted to put a shout out to that model of, she keeps herself motivated as an artist. She builds sales, and then she has something to talk about on her blog, because like, here's today's picture, and then she does compilations of the greatest works. So she's
I like
really
the compilation too.
Say it again.
I like the compilation.
Yes, yeah, because because she's done it so much that she's just a really, Kat Corrigan. This is amazing. So anyway,
type in her information. So
yes.
Get to it. And Karen, I'm going to tell you that too. Put in the information around the sketchbook project.
Sure.
I like that idea of compilation, actually, Sandy. For you, would be to do a quick video of all the houses that sold this year, or all the families that got a new place, or, you know, just a quick, like, this is what makes me happy. All these people got a new piece. And Janet, I could see you doing that also with like the top pictures of any concept. You know, like here's my compilation of my favorite pictures on this category. Yeah. 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 Okay, I'm going to start to share my screen here. And we will get right into today's class. We are going to be perfectly on time. This is going to work out great. Okay. And prosperity business model. Some of you have seen this before. Again, I remind everybody, use the chat box. That's what it's there for. It's also, you get the chat box later. So if you have things that you want people to share, if you have questions that the people who aren't here right now can read later, they get the chat box too. So
just one thing, the chat
Yeah.
box is in text. So if
Oh.
there's a click through on there in the text, it doesn't show up that way. But if you copy the whole thing and put it in Word, then it'll show up.
Oh,
Sometimes. So it's not a perfect system, but all the information is there.
Right. Well, what I also like about chat box is kind of when we're at the end, you can kind of look at the questions and the inspirations or the things that you want to remember. Sometimes I'll just type in to the side of the things that you said that is important that I need to go back to. Like when Sandy had talked about capacity, right? Okay, we got to remember capacity. That's a big deal. Again, we're talking about the prosperity business plan. This is unique information. This is the business plan that I wrote. This is the business plan that I teach you guys all the time, but I don't always present it in this way. I don't actually give you the documented formal piece of it. So this is proprietary information. It's not like you can go in and get it somewhere else, but prosperity is the ability to magnify. And that's one of the things that I kind of remind you about. Donna, we were talking about, right? What's the magnification point? What's that dot that you start, the pixel of where it starts, and then what do you shoot out from that point? Am I afraid? Am I lost? Am I whatever, right? Or am I happy, joyous, and excited? Right? That's the point that you're going to do the rest of your life from. So magnification is just, again, the ability to magnify, to get bigger from a destination. When we look at a business plan, why do I talk about business plan? Is because if you want to build capacity, you're going to have to think about not just business strategy, you have to think about the plan. And what I hear a lot from people when I ask them, why did you go into business? And I'll often get some pretty common responses, right? I didn't want to work for somebody else. I have all these other reasons. Very rarely are they, I couldn't wait to build something that made this amount of money. I've never heard that yet. But again, when you start to think about that as the magnification point, where do people start? Right? Where are they doing that for the rest of their life? I didn't want to work for somebody else. Boom, right? I needed more income. Okay, you got it, but it doesn't really give you a mission, a direction, a set of values, or trading capacity. So when you start to look at, you are a business partner and we want people to partner with you. So we want to know why you're doing that. So when you are looking at a business model, it's a rationale. It's there to create and it's there to create it, right? You're going to build that product. You're there to deliver it to somebody else, and you're there to capture the value of that, right? So not only do you get credit of that, but you get paycheck, you get social capital, you get a lot of other things. There's a lot of value to what you receive in the work that you're doing. So I would think of it as a design process for you, right? It's the design of the operation. How are you going to operate a business? Not who are you as the business. It is how are you going to design the operation of the business? Sandy's great example today is being able to build capacity. The reason that she's able this year, one, it's been an amazing year in general, but she's able to build because of the design of her operation, that she was able to build capacity by being more efficient, by doing some other things in here. So I want you to think about that. If you want to grow, Donna, this is going to really be to you as well. when you had to build capacity, even in just being able to take your ideas, you had to hire other professionals and you had to invite all of these other people. But again, right, what's the business strategy is different than, right, what's the structure? How do you build mission and profit first? And that's a very different concept, right? If I'm selling homes, that's a product, that's just an exchange. But the reason, my guess is that the reason that many people who are selling something are successful is because people like to do business with them for what they stand for or who they are and what that means to a greater mission, right? So we've met lots of people who have a mission. Tom's Shoes, right? That he started a business that had to make money and be profitable because he was tired of seeing how many kids didn't have a pair of shoes, right? Okay, let's build that. So when you're looking at your business plan, I need you to look at the first two sides of the equation, right? There's two sides of the equation and we're going to kind of work them through. The one is, what's the cost to give what you've got? And then what's the price you have to get what you need, right? Those two are the only two questions that you have to figure out in every business model. That is where I start. What does it cost to give your product? And what is the price we have to get so that you can stay sustainable? And then you have this magic sauce that circles it, which is, and how does that happen in your special way, in your brand, in your culture, in what you've built, right? When I go back to the pictures that I did for my niece, right? It had to be done in the Auntie Mickey, right? It had to be done spectacular and glitzy, and you know, I can't not be that, right? You can't not be you, right? You can't not be thoughtful. You can't not be the person or the creator that you are. So when you're looking at how you deliver, you're going to always deliver in your special way, in the way that is your way, your magic. And when we can harness that magic and so that people can access it, that they'll pay you more for it because you can deliver it consistently. So it's one thing to be able to deliver something once. It's another thing to be able to deliver it consistently. And that's where a great business model can help.
And can I just say that
Yeah.
cheers to you, Mickey and Karen, for delivering this NW2 consistently all year. It's just like, it is a marvel of consistency, and what a wonderful thing. I just want to throw that out there.
I will take that love. I will take that love. And actually this is this new way. I'm really, you know, I got to give credit to Karen Carson for that because she loves Zoom, or probably 5 years earlier than anybody else did.
Now,
and
you weren't exactly kicking and screaming, but
I was close.
it was close.
I was close because of what, yeah. We all have to grow, right? I mean, we all have to grow. And it turns out that this model can really work a lot better. So strategy is the way that you're going to implement your business model. So I want you to kind of think business model and then strategy. So it's the 3 E's. One is environment, 2 is economy, and 3 is efficiency. They're not in that order. They're just a little circle. They're just a little pie chart of the 3 E's, right? Environment, economy, efficiency. And when we put those 3 things together, we can really make the ball spin rapidly. And the reason that people want a business model and why we work on that is oftentimes because they need to grow rapidly. If you have rapid growth, you can't do it without a business model and not amplify all the mistakes. So when you are looking at something that has to grow really big, if you haven't done the infrastructure to it, it's only going to grow bigger of what it used to be. So when you're thinking about the environment, Donna, you today were really right. What's the atmosphere you create from the exchange that you give and what you're implementing from? So again, fun up, right? That it's really, that may be mission to you. What am I magnifying in? But again, that's environment. So when you're thinking about environment, this is actually where I start on every business model, is that we go in and look at the environment. So we look at where is it located? How do people come into work? What's the philosophy? What are the values? What are the values that you think you're giving? And what are the ones that your employees think you're giving? This is a really big conversation that I have with leadership teams, because they become this little cluster ball, and they bring new people into the team, and that new person from the team is like, what is this, right? And so lots of major companies have built these tiny environment balls all around their company, because that's a division, right? And then that division ends up having its own environment. And then the major part of the company kind of loses control of all of those balls, right? So when you look at an environment, it's like, how do we bring all those little balls together so that they can all create in unity? And that's where you get culture. That's where you get a clarification of mission. The reason I like mission is because it's a way to measure, am I doing it right? If you go, look, you always have to swim to this dot, then you can really ask your question, is this going to get us there? Right? So when you were looking at magnification, it's the opposite, right? It's saying, hey, this is where I want to be from. Am I always amplifying from that? Right? So it's the reverse of the same equation, Donna. Okay. So am I swimming to that, or what am I magnifying from? It's the same dot. It's just I'm just having the conversation from the other side. Compassion, respect. If you've ever had an environment, a business environment that was painful to be in, you know how it can make you sick. It can be just a bummer. It just, you take it on. And I have lots and lots of people who actually end up with an enormous amount of trauma from their work environment. And so that was one of the things that I think we don't talk enough about, is the amount of people that actually take on trauma from their work environment. When we look at what is the fastest way and the longest lasting change in every environment, it is the use of language. And language is the magic key of how we can start immediately, right? It starts at my elevator pitch, right? Who are you? What do you say you do, right? What is your mission? But language is also how we're going to communicate. And using prosperity language is a practiced item. I will frequently, when I'm listening to leaders that are in meetings that I'm in, that I will frequently write down things, because I can't believe how different their language is than a layman's terms, right? So that they are really planful in the way that they are talking and the questions that they're asking. And a lot of times they're asking a question because they're also buying time for themselves to understand what you're saying. So when you start to look at what that is, it is, I look at that, this one right here, right? Is this a surface swim, or do we need to deep dive on this problem? Right? They're asking for information. They're not saying, hey, I need more information. They're giving you a picture. Is this a surface swim, or do we need to deep dive on this? And that's also a way to cut people short in a meeting, to go, are you surface swimming, or are we really getting to the big problems that we need to work on? Is this something there? Or, well, let's unpack the problems, right? Or when you start to look at asking someone, a way to reframe their mind. I really do like this one. What is the story that matters?
Mm. Wow.
What is the story that matters? And much like what Karen had talked about with, right, there once was a, once upon a time, there, whatever, but it's really using that creative part of your mind to say, well, what is the story that matters here? And when you start to also retrain people for understanding their everyday, when I give someone an impossible task, I gave one to a law firm the other day where I said, look, you want to be $1 million revenue piece, and we've built you to 600. Let's look at what's possible, and then we'll get you to the impossible, right? Because it was an impossible thought when they first got to me that they were at about 300,000 of revenue. We've doubled that, but it took 3 years because they had all this infrastructure to build. Let's look at what's possible, so then we can create the impossible. And that is where you look at how do we think about how Sandy got to where she is, right? That this was a big place. It was a big win to have that many sales, but boy, did that feel impossible 10 years ago. Like, oh, who gets there, right? But now, right, if you focus on what is possible, impossible becomes very available to you. And building that language into the storyline, building it into your language, it's really easy to see how you can champion something forward, right? So when you start to look at what the choices are that you're doing, I do want you to rethink about what is the language that you're utilizing and the questions that you're asking of your partners. And so these were just examples that I thought that I had just written down from a meeting not that long ago. So build alliance instead of reliance. Big difference, right? And so a lot of times we will build or hire people that we just rely on to do their job. But again, I remind you that this is an alliance. It is that we are working together so that each of us walk out of this environment with something of value. So it's not just, hey, I need to rely on you. We need to be allies so that we are both committed to the same outcome. And that us working together makes both of us stronger. So when you look at everything that you have, whether it be your bookkeeping system, whether it be your phone system, whether it be a car, right? Or some system of delivery, you have to build alliance, not just reliance. And that's really important in all your relationships. One of the things that I'm going to encourage you to do is to really look at the partners that you're going to need and that you need to build an alliance with. And an alliance means there's something in it for them. So I'll use an example from my own life, which is, I could sell term insurance all day long, but I don't like doing it. So if I find someone who likes to do that, they'll just do it and then we'll split the money. Right? So, okay, great. So in comes Andrew. He has no clients. I got 20 years, I got 20 plus years. So now I can say, here's the offer I have. I think this is how you will win out of this and how I will win out of this. And here's the plan of how I've done that. And now we have an alliance. I don't need to just rely on him to pull a set of numbers. He has a reason to be in that relationship, right? So think about the partners that you want in your business model. So Janet, if we were looking for those for you, right, we would be looking with, if you were going to be doing some of the ideas that you have for social media, right? On images and other pieces, right? How can you align with someone so that you're going to win just as much as they are, right? Not just to have the business, but to have the ability to create openly, to really use all of your skills, to be able to learn new skills, to pay for you to be able to have new skills, or to utilize parts of you that you may have set down. The second model is efficiency. And efficiency isn't just doing it faster. It is really a lot of times around having things work better. So that may be having access to something, that may be having programs that you hadn't used before, right? Today, our efficiency is this Zoom, right? We can, don't worry, you've got a pandemic, no worries, we'll all get together, right? This is an efficient way for us to be together, and it's creating a system that we can deliver class. One of the things that I personally like about this version is it allows me to use these slides. It is my belief that you actually end up with a better class because I can actually give you all of the prep. In my opinion, I think that this has gotten even better through the use of technology. And you get something you didn't get before. You lost something, but you also got something. So when you start to look at efficiency, that's also what you're asking.
And the chat box also.
Yeah, and a chat box.
Right? You know, that input. Yeah.
Well, and you can chat all the time. So you can kind of get everything out of your head as you're doing it. And we'll get to it. But, you know.
Hi, Jamian.
Oh, good. Jamian's in. Hi. Welcome. How are you?
Good.
Good. Hey, I'm going to just do a quick 10-second review for you so you can kind of catch up. We've got a bunch of slides, but I'm sure everybody would love to hear it again, right? So I'm going to do a quick review of, so you don't feel like you lost anything. Prosperity business model, that's what we're working from. You have the chat box. So that's your special tool. So put in any information that you want us to know, any thoughts or ideas, questions that you have, but use the chat box because that's the added extra that you get when you get these recordings. Prosperity is the ability to magnify. So when we look at a prosperity business plan, that's what we're talking about, is the ability to magnify. I wrote the prosperity business plan. It is not available to you elsewhere. It's not like there's a book that you can just go pick up. And we have lots and lots and lots and lots of you. I took some pictures at the very end of this, by the way, so that we could start to point out faces, right? And to say, and this person made their life better. This person made their life better. And Sandy, you are our model today, right? That you're at the top of your game. So why you need a plan, right? And when you look at why you need a plan is because we have to change the point of which you're magnifying from. And a lot of people started a business with the first statement. I didn't want to work for somebody else, or I needed more income, or I wanted to own my own time. These don't make great business people because that's not the uplifting business partner. So we have to change the point at which you're magnifying from. And that's what a business model will do, is it'll say, it's not about me now, it's about this business model. So it takes it out of you and puts it right here so that other people can also join with you. A business model is that outer shell, right? It's there to create and deliver, but it's there to capture value, capture pay, capture social stuff, right? It is a design. So when you're thinking about a business model, I want you to think about it as that outside layer. And then, right, we also have in there mission and profit. Those should be the first pieces on that. If you want to build capacity, you have to have a business model. not just a business strategy. And we have two sides of the equation, right? The cost to give and the cost to get, right? What is the cost for you to give what you want to give? And what is the price to get what you want to get? So when we also look at that in luxury services, we also look at the fact that it's going to cost someone, if they're looking to give a luxury service, the ability to give that luxury service is at least a 25% premium. So why does something cost more? Because it costs more to give. And you'll have to have more to get in that. So many times people are looking for everyday luxury in their business models so that it feels like you got something more than just something small. So I'll give you an example from a famous hotelier, which is, you may have had this happen. They simply took a 25-cent piece of chocolate and set it on a pillow. 25 cents. And every single person felt special.
Yeah.
Low-end hotel, Comfort Inn. Comfort Inn said, why don't we start having homemade cookies at 3 o'clock at check-in? We don't need to do that in the morning. We'll just pick up a batch. So when somebody walks in our lobby, right, it's that much more, right? So again, it's not a chocolate, it's a chocolate chip cookie. Business strategy is the way you implement the business model. So when you're thinking about business strategy and business model, they are not the same. So the 3 E's in a business, in the business model, in the prosperity business model, is environment, economy, and efficiency. Those are not in one specific order, Jamie, and they're like a little pie. They're like a pie, right? A third on each one. So those are the 3 E's. And I think that's where we are just coming into. You're almost caught up. So I'm going a little fast. I won't go this fast for the rest of it. The first one is environment, right? That's the atmosphere that you create, exchange, and implement from. We talked about that as being sometimes the physical space that you're in and the emotional space that you're creating to create with others with, a team atmosphere. And when we look at that, right, that can be the relationships. A lot of times you'll have clusters of people in a larger organization. So those clusters sometimes create their own little environments, those little separate biomes. And the idea is how do we get everybody working in the same way, right? How do we get everybody in that same magnification point, right? And that's why mission is so helpful. That everybody, no matter what environment that they create, they can always have that measuring stick. Does it go back to mission? Does it go back to mission? Does it go back to mission? Right? So for Donna, right? Is this leading to fun? Is this leading to our mission? Will this actually lead to fun? For Sandy, this may be, is this helping someone get to the right neighborhood for the rest of their life? Right? That where your home is a big indicator of a lot of things in your life. Right? So you can always measure, not is it just giving you profit, but is it bringing us back to mission? The fastest and the longest tool that we have for building an environment is the use of language. And we looked at some of these other pieces of how are we meeting with other people? What is the language that we're using? And how do we use language that helps everyone stay in the same thought process and the same alignment with the business model, with the environment that you're trying to create. And having new language is the fastest way to change that. And listening to other people speak is really important to be able to do that. With business partners, you're going to build alliance instead of reliance. That means that you all have to have a benefit, right? You all have to magnify in a way that is deeply meaningful. And I think this is where you came in. Is that right, Jamie?
Yes.
She's driving, so
Oh, you're driving. Oh, well,
Yeah.
hello. I can't see you on my screen, so.
change
Okay.
to gallery view.
Oh, well, I'll change to gallery view. Oh, that makes it even bigger. Oh,
Hello.
hello. Okay. So how can we deliver, right? Efficiency is, again, how can we make things that we can access? And one of the things that I would just remind people about is just look around. Look around your business model. The things that are messy, the things that aren't working well, that's your message. And that's a message to you as that business owner, right? Is in order to build capacity, we actually have to go back in and clean up all those little messes, because you'll magnify from that point. So your mess is your message. That means that we want to look at all of the things that are feeling a little futzy. So a lot of times I'll start that with accounting. I'll start that with the tasks that are undone. I'll look at, how are you doing this, right? That's efficiency. And the efficiency model that I want you to think about is using technology first. And that is, how quickly can we make it so that somebody can immediately move from, I want that, to, right? How do we plug and play, and how do we pay? Right? How do I get to the product I want, and how do I pay for it? Because the faster you get a check, the faster they're ready to rebuy. The best time to sell somebody something is when they've already just bought something from you. If you have noticed, whenever you search something, if you didn't buy it, it's a little ad is going to come up for it over and over again, right? Because they want to remind you that you did want that, right? And if you bought something from a specific company, now that company is paying to come up in your stratosphere over and over again. If you're a Target shopper, you get lots of things from Target. If you are someone that's at Starbucks, they're going to pay to have you in there as well. So they're going to show you other things. And if you are being picked up by a conglomerate that owns many different companies, they're going to send you all of their little companies, right? Because they're going to try to build that line. But for you as your business, I want you to think about that as technology. How can that customer get through their process faster? So when we look at home buying, right, what is the fastest way for somebody to know what they want, right? Sometimes people have a worksheet or they have a set of questions. Here are the questions I'm going to ask you. Here are the questions I want you to think about. For Janet, for you, for design, having an intake sheet is incredibly helpful to go, what are the questions that you have for me? And that way that person isn't just flying by the seat of their pants, but they're also knowing, right, what are the questions they want to ask you? What is the fastest way to start? Donna, we talked about that in your business model, right? Which is, how are you going to partner with people so they can raise money?
Mm-hmm.
Right? What's the way that we get that?
Yeah.
This is efficient.
Fundraiser. How do you, okay, what do I need to do? Sounds great. What do I need to do?
Yep. What do I need to do? Jamie, and when we look at that for you, you've got a couple of different business plans. So having an intake form for an event, really helpful. Knowing a price, knowing a budget, knowing something that's faster, really helpful. If you are trying to magnify, if you would like to grow, this is the item that I remind people. What you do not loathe, you will allow. So as you magnify, if it doesn't bug you enough, it's going to build right along with you. So if you're afraid of something and you're this big, you'll still be afraid of it when you're that big, right? So we have that come up a lot where people feel uncomfortable doing certain tasks in their business, reaching out, right? Not enough sales, not enough this, right? shaking hands with people they don't know. I have a medical practice that they keep not wanting to do what they have to do because they don't like it. Right? So if there's something that you don't like, but you know that's what you need to grow, they'll continue to stagnate themselves because they'll just keep allowing it. Sometimes, if I was going to quote Tony Robbins, right, when the pain of not doing it becomes greater than the pain of doing it, you'll move forward. So sometimes there's this moment where we have enough pain that says, I got to change. Right? But until that pain gets great enough, you'll keep going. Right? And that's the conversation. Right? Why am I not doing it? Well, why have I not done it for 10 years? Well, either you don't want to do it, or the pain of not doing it isn't greater than the pain of, right? The pain of staying the same is has to be greater, right? Where's your pain conversation?
So can I just add one thing to that?
Yes.
Because I have so much experience with that topic. Is I tend to put a false mythical equation into that says, okay, if I've put this off for 5 months, it's probably because it takes 5 months to do. And it's like, no, just like Janet, it took 45 seconds to renew my LLC. I create like, oh, if I put this off for a year, it's because it's so hard and it takes a year to accomplish. And it's like, no, it took 15 minutes.
Right.
And there's something about this crazy mythology that the longer I put it off, the more time I tell myself I'm putting it must be so hard because I'm putting it off so long. And it's like, no, that is such a false thing to say.
Right. Right. That concept, by the way, is called anchoring.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So it is a time anchor. A lot of times people have money anchors, but that concept is called anchoring. And like a boat anchor, ANCHOR.
Yeah.
So it's called anchoring. And what I like about what you're saying is, again, it kind of lets us know, like, what's the anchor that went down on that topic, and you can kind of just roll it up in your mind to go, whoa, wrong port. I don't need a 20 month anchor. It's only, I don't even need to anchor on that.
So
it's gonna take how much it is.
I didn't mean to,
and it gets stuck. That's how people get stuck.
Oh, so anchor and grounding are
not the same. And anchor,
they're not the same.
That your brain stores information.
But I think that for me, there's a little bit of an aha here because I'm looking for grounding.
Yeah.
And I've gone the mistaken route of anchoring. And
okay, I'm going there with you.
And I think there's a pearl there for me. But
yeah,
I'll let you have your presentation back.
I'm when that pearl comes, give it to us, because I think it's going to be worthwhile.
And I respect that, and I feel like it could be a whole session, a whole class, that topic.
On anchoring. Yeah.
A deep dive, like, in just that.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's hard to recognize that it's actually that way. Anchoring is because you just put it off. It's a mental thing, and you just push it. It's not like you write it down and rip it up or something. So I think it's hard to recognize that you're doing that. You're putting it off, but you don't know that you're doing that other part that Donna's talking about. You're creating this whole myth about it, that it's harder and harder.
All right.
Yeah.
I put that on my list. So I think you're right that we could have a whole classroom discussion on anchoring.
Right. So thank you. Whether you do or not, I feel like this has given me something. I mean, I don't want to, it feeds into this other thing I realized, which we won't go there, but
Why not?
okay, well, it is to say that, okay, I have a lot of projects around my house. And if you know Maya Para, you know that she can tackle just about anything furniture wise in your house. And I've seen that woman come over to my house and just get paralyzed and be like, I'm so overwhelmed by what you have going on here. And I'm like, wow, I have more projects than Maya Para can tackle, which means there's a lot going on here, because she can handle it. She's Superwoman when it comes to that stuff. So that made me go, okay, well, what's up with all these projects? And it came down to grounding. I use a lineup of projects to, oh yeah, it's my core value of growth. I always want something to be improved and look better. And it's like, I have a infinite ability and opportunity to grow through all these projects that I've set up for myself. Like it, and then, but the converse of that is, I got a mess here, you know,
Right.
this is a big mess, and I'm anchored, I'm stagnant. And that's,
Yeah. And that's where that's where it goes back to exactly where we started, right? Which is, right, your mess is a message.
right.
And it is a message of something.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's not a bad message, but it is just, it's a message, and let's pay attention to it.
Right.
Again, right, we're still on the second form of your business model. This is efficiency. This is about growth, right? You will grow, but the question is, how fast will you grow? And again, you can see the personality type of someone when they're 4, when they're 14, when they're 24, when they're 54. If you've ever raised children, some of them, you knew what they were like the minute that they got to be about 4, right? If they had that personality trait, you can see that in them years and years later, right? So the same is true with a business model. And why it's so important to go in and do that infrastructure work and do that re-anchoring of how and why you're doing things, and putting it into these 3 categories, because you will just keep growing an identical version of what was there, not a new thing. So when you think about efficiency, you're going to also think about, what is the efficiency of what you're trying to build? And what do you want more of it? So I'll give you an example from a trucking company that I did some work with, which was that they had a guy on the loading dock who was always just ornering, didn't matter, but he was very efficient. He could get that work done, but boy, did he bark a lot of orders. And yes, they didn't fire him because he was the most efficient that he could, but they couldn't keep any staff in that area.
Oh.
And I said, so where's your efficiency? Right? So I had to challenge the efficiency. You can't keep anybody working on that dock because he's a jerk. And he's a jerk because he doesn't have enough tools. So, you know, I would go back through and kind of let him know this conversation. We went through there. And one day I brought in on expense account, this giant unicorn from Costco, and told him that this would be his new partner if he didn't change. And so, you know, we'd get complaints in HR, it would come up over and over again, and he would just see me walking down that hallway. Mickey, what's going on? And I'm like, you gotta change, man. You gotta change, because you're great at your job, but you're a jerk. So you're gonna have to live with this at your desk. And we tied it onto the front desk so that when you had to go up to his desk to talk about something, he had to sit with that unicorn for the whole week. So just as a reminder, right? You've got to change. You've got to change. And, you know, he he got it, but it was hard, but he had that physical reminder of that unicorn. When you are looking at, for those of you who are great list makers in efficiency, here's the largest tip I can give you, right? And this sign on this says, every week, everything I do turns into a checklist, right? So I would like you to start out going through and looking at what are you doing, because you're going to have to start a checklist for you in every process. So what you're going to do is in that process is you're going to pull your categories down because you don't need as many, and then you're going to pick your tasks upward. So when you start to look at the tasks will go up, but the categories will go down. They'll actually even out. So we only need to focus in on usually about 8 categories for a business model. And to say, look, is it bringing in revenue? Is it bringing in sales, right? Customer service, that you're going to really slice down the categories that you're going to focus in on. So that may be new clients, that may be servicing old clients. You're going to hone in to only the categories that are the most important. And then you're going to ramp up the tasks in just those categories. So if you are looking for new clients, right, we're going to really only have about 5 categories max. A larger company can have 8, but I don't have any corporate entity that has more than 8. And then they just start aligning the tasks under them. The last one in the series is economy, right? When you are looking to build an economy, this is actually what's happening with the state of Minnesota. The state of Minnesota actually put together a huge plan that is going to all of the other states, because we already have a prosperity task force. We have that thought process that's long-term in our culture here. But again, we have to rebuild a lot of small business. And so Minnesota actually has presented in this last week, what is the economic way to increase trade of small business so that we can amplify and grow the economy at a rate that's really unheard of. So when you start to look at why that was, that they came up with the numbers, there were 8 different organizations that came into that request and that presentation, that we are asking every state to put to acknowledge that this is a time of opportunity, but it is not a time for small efforts to be made. These are sweeping change, that we have a chance to sweepingly invest in small business, because small business is 66% of the revenue in those small job categories. So entry-level jobs, job training. There are a lot of categories that come in from these small employers. So Sandy, that's someone like you. Jamie, and that's someone like you, where you're giving even part-time work to people, right? So when you are looking to increase the prosperity of an individual, of a business, of a city, of a nation, you are looking to increase its ability to trade. So when you think about trade, economy is a tricky wicket, because it is also the way we feel about the trade. It's not the actual financial piece of it. Many of you choose a restaurant or a coffee shop based on a societal belief. Shop small, right? That trading economy is a societal change, not just a financial one. That you believe that the world should work a certain way. You have nothing against Starbucks, but Starbucks is going to do okay. That cup of coffee that you bring, right? Because every vote is $1, right? Every dollar you spend is a vote on something. Are you voting for more, larger companies? Are you voting for small? And we are voting every single day. So it's also the benefit of the trade. So when we look at money in general, for those of you who are new at this, it not only does it have to make money, but it has to make money specifically to support the overall growth of the environment and the mission. So that's a very different concept. And that is why prosperity models work, because it is not just that you have to make money, you have to make money for a reason. Many of those companies, I'll use Zappos as an example. Zappos figured out that they didn't just need to make money selling shoes, they had to make money to grow an environment that could change that city, right? That they wanted a mission, that people could have lots of choices, that they have all of these different ways that you can have a way to buy shoes. They sell shoes. But they've made a commitment to their city. They have put an enormous amount of money into Vegas, into the lower parts of Vegas that were uninhabitable. They have put enormous amounts of efforts into housing. The CEO moved into one of those crummy neighborhoods for that reason, because he wanted the environment to change. And he would prove it. And that having a business that understood that prosperity model of saying we have to support the overall growth of the environment and the mission is a very different conversation than just profit. We have to make money because there's something bigger here that we have to do. A lot of people are going to want to partner with you. This is where, if you have not learned my phrase, nothing burger, this is where you should probably take it up, right? Lots and lots of people are going to be like, I want to do business with you. You're amazing. Yeah, you are. It's true. But they got nothing to offer you. They're going to try to sell you that they have it all, but they don't. They don't. So remember, lots and lots of people are going to try to sell you a nothing burger. And you don't need that. And they're going to serve it up as a big meal. So when you're thinking about reliance and alliance, right, you want what that is, right? You want to know that you have an alliance. And that's what you are hoping for, is an alliance. But lots of people are going to sell you a nothing burger. So just keep reminding yourself, it's a nothing burger. Wow, that happened. Wow, I don't know how that happened. Well, let me see if I can make that smaller.
A Whopper nothing burger.
That what?
It's a Whopper nothing burger.
Oh gosh, there's so many people that have nothing burgers to sell me. It's just crazy.
I mean, because the slide blew up.
Oh yeah, it's a Whopper. Oh, that's great.
A Whopper nothing burger. Big Mac nothing burger.
When you're building product, one of the things I want you to really think about, Jamie, and in your new venture with the glasses and things like this will apply to you. In some of the work that you should be showcasing, this is where I also want you to think about it, which is, can it pay you twice? Can it pay you 3 times? Can it pay you an unlimited amount of times? So when you're starting to look at that, Donna, you and I have had that conversation, right? That you can create one image and it can pay you 1,000 different ways.
Yes.
Right? Redbubble is a great example of that. Janet, I think that's another secret place that your skills could be really useful, that you can take a piece of risk and not have to take it financially, to be able to showcase some of your designs and some of the things that you can create and actually be paid directly for them. That you don't have to rely on the same kind of customer. So you can create a design. We are watching Tilly do this. So Matilda, for those of you who are in class, that's Danny's sister. And they are doing a lot of things. But anyway, so they put together all of their stuff. If you haven't looked at Matilda's store, it's also on my Facebook page. But the reason that she can look like she just went from an everyday company to a massive corporate function is because she was able to build an alliance with a partner that could make her look bigger. So they could position her product in a million different ways. They can position her design as a pillow, as a tablecloth, as a picture on your wall. They can make it into all sorts of things. And when she went in, and we had to, really add resources to her. of everyday people to go, look, you've got to go to this organization and build an alliance with them because they can make you look not just 100% better, 1,000,000% better, because they have millions of dollars of effort that they've put in to their marketplace. So if you tap into theirs, you'll be able to put on yours what they've invested millions into. And that's one of the reasons I really like Redbubble in general. So now, can it pay you multiple times? So when you are looking at a property, right? So one of the things that's very interesting is that realtors can also sell rentals, right? That they don't have to sell just a house. They can partner with people to rent their house out consistently, and they'll get paid on that house many, 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 many times. So sometimes I see realtors changing their business model so that they can become rental agents as a side job. So that's another way that they can get paid on that same property many, many times. To say, hey, we have a screening process. We can just do this for you. You still have to own your own property. You still have to do all the maintenance. The rent goes to you, but this is what the pay is. One of the things that I want to kind of leave you with today is really the what are the questions that you should be asking yourself? And this is kind of where I'm going to open it up, right? What are the questions you should be asking yourself? Out of what you've heard, you kind of started to get your information. So I'm gonna go through this next slide here. A lot of you might see yourself here, right? When we look at these were I just randomly pulled a couple of classes. These classes are every year, but I wanted to just look at some of these faces here, okay? We have Ty right here, just hit, right? So why do I believe that this business model works? All I have to do is look out at your community here, okay? And if any of you did not see Ty Goodwin's big award, that she has gone from, nothing to 20,000 a month in revenue for her. That's not for her staff, that's for her. When you look at, we have here another realtor, Penny, also having a greatest year of her life. Also making 6 figures. We have Michelle here, also helped her daughter build $1 million company in under a year. We have Annie, built $1 million business model in 11 months and sold it. We have, again, the ice cream maker here, right? Again, she's been able to manage COVID in a million different ways, but she's not out of business and she's still making it. Let's look down here, right? We have another 6 figure. She had quit her job, Tanya Hagry, right? Quit her job, went into business for herself, made the most money she's ever made, has an amazing story. She left that, was making the most money on the top of her game and went, this isn't in my values, I gotta readjust. Left it. Just left it off and went, I got to rethink this. And then found another one.
She went into multi-level marketing and made a lot of money.
Yeah.
In 2 different ones. She started with one that she more closely fit her values, and then she went on to another one that was even better. So right. She's like, she achieved her dream, which is to help other people other women who wanted to start small businesses.
Right.
With money.
So then we have the miter box right here. We have Donna with her urine there, right? We have Danny who is going, working on her stuff. We have also Liz Ramos is in here, who also is, figured her stuff out. Up here, we've got a couple of good ones. This is, I don't know if you remember. Good ones. What?
They're all good ones.
They're all good ones, right? This is Mike Ryder. Mike Ryder is also, he just figured it out this year. COVID helped him kind of put it together, which is that he has rock memorabilia, and he figured out a whole bunch of pieces and is truly having the greatest rock and roll selling year of his life. And he's been across the nation even during COVID. This is Barb Melman, who many of the gluten-free recipes that you are buying in the stores are actually her flour mill company. So again, taking her from being a baker and selling cupcakes to really formulating a flour mill recipe that she is wholesaling out to hundreds of different bakeries so that they can provide gluten-free product, that they learn how to bake it, they know how to mix it, but it's her recipe that's in many of the items that you are eating today. So one of the things that I remind you about is proof's in the pudding. You are all doing well. You have all grown. This group has grown, many, many people. The reason that I do this class, the reason it's only $10 is because I believe that you deserve access to this. And I'm going to remind you to invite your other friends to that. This is a 96% discount from my regular rate, that you get an hour of class plus community. We have, if you want to talk about it to other people, I'm going to just remind you that there's enough out there on me to be able to go, who is that person, right? This was the one I won just last year, which is the 50 over 50 as the wealth spreader. Who doesn't want that as a business partner? This is the Minnesota, another Minnesota award, top mentorship in the state. 2021 is still coming. A lot of faces here that we know and love. In 2021, we will still be here, but we will still be online all year. So this is a chance for you to invite other people, that it's not just a moment, that we're going to commit to all of 2021 online. So you can bring in new people, you can let them come to class because this is an opportunity for them to be able to grow. And I'd love to see more of you. And I'd love to see more of you across the nation, because it's time. It's time to get a new group growing. Okay, I'm going to come off my screen share and I'm going to go back to the main question. What are you taking away? Jamie, and since you were last on, I'm going to start with you first so you can also give us a quick update.
Well, quick update. I got one of many websites up. I put it in the chat.
Good.
And one of her new business and stuff like that. But actually, the thing that I was taking away, and I didn't jump in because I've had car problems this morning, so I'm starting like 5 hours late from dealing with a client. But one of the things that I've had like kind of happen this week is that I know I took on a new partner that's really good about like paperwork and contracts and accounting and financing and just keeping that end of business together.
Efficiency.
Yeah. And I have taken a lot of losses because contracts weren't right. And I just didn't want to deal with the arguments or deal with the backlashes from that. And so like 2 weeks ago, I dealt with a pretty tough backlash from honoring a contract. And luckily, I have a really good partner who was able to get that squashed, where I would have just had to ride out a really negative kickback from, you know, not having that together. But having it together allowed for, like, the negative kickback was going to happen regardless, because that's just the nature of my business and who this person was. But just the fact that it was able to get squashed earlier and cause little damage to just me personally was just like that aha moment. So I'm really trying to take my time in business and get that plan so that I can be more prosperous. I mean, by not having contracts together, I think he figured last year I lost a good 25 grand.
Right. And how much are you paying your new person to do those contracts?
They're a partner and in my business. So nothing. I'm making, I mean, our benefit is our businesses will increase. Right. So
but that benefit for you right there is you can measure instantly.
Yeah.
Is in the amount of contracts that you didn't have to lose on.
Yeah.
So the way I would count that is just go back into last year that had the contracts that weren't functioning, and just count out the ones that you think you may have lost in, as a percentage. So if you had 100 contracts and you lost on 10, 90% went well, right? But now you can give yourself a number so that you guys can track how much improvement you have.
Okay, yeah.
And that way you can take that with you to go, look, we've seen an increase in, so now you've got 25,000 of loss. Well, how much do we have of loss now? Well, if it's only 12, you've had a 50% improvement.
Yeah, and we're just getting like started in that, but just one improvement was a $2,500, loss. Sorry, it's making me a little emotional because it was really hard to take the kickback from what happened from me honoring the contract.
Right.
And so
This is real business,
but still
Jane. This is real.
$2,500 is tuition for my kids in college and
Yes,
in school and stuff. So to in the past where I would have just given that back, I was able to still keep that,
right. Yeah, that's
because
a big
my
win.
contracts were in line. So that makes, that's a growth process. This was the first time that happened. So sorry, it was like really hard to take, but yeah, that's the first time that happened. And so it was a direct relation, I want to make the money as my biggest ultimate and be successful. So that was successful, even though it hurt a little bit.
Right. But that's what efficiency does. That's what infrastructure does, is it
Right.
allows you to keep moving, right? Even when there's pushback.
Right.
And that's a really big win for you. I would take that into 2021 as a big win.
Right.
Okay. Out of today's lesson, what are you taking away?
Just getting my prosperity plan, like the infrastructure, the people that I need in there, and just that's a right thought process and movement on there. And just, that's my biggest, from when I jumped in, that was like the first thing I started hearing. So
Good.
Yeah.
Good. You win. Okay. Janet Mills, what are you taking away?
More than I want to admit. So I wrote down kind of the structure of what you need for capacity and growth and alliance and market business plan and implementation and all that. But then I realized like the truth of it is I have a really successful, happy one project. But then seeing you point out the people in our classes and that, like I don't have like a business and business know-how, like there's a whole massive place of growth I could have. Not that I'm not happy, but like, yeah. So it's actually kind of makes me vulnerable to realize like how far I could go, what's out there.
What's out there. And I think that your availability to it is growing.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know what the formula would be or what it would be. I know some things I want to get done also that I've wanted to get done for a few years that need to happen too. But anyway.
Yeah. Well, I knew I would start with environment and I would get those pictures up. I think that's the first place to let the environment move you. That's my vote. Sandy Cleland, what are you taking away from today?
So there's a lot of areas that I would like to improve the efficiencies of my business. So this year, starting to do things more, like my buyer consultation or seller consultation more on the phone. And so it's still pretty clunky, it's just changed. So I'll email them what I used to like bring and then go over things on the phone. And so it's not it's not as slick. It's just clunky still.
Yeah.
So I can definitely improve that of how that all works.
Yeah.
And my buyer booklet, I started redoing it and I saw like how many things I wanted to change. And so I started changing it and I never finished. So that's something that I need to finish. Bookkeeping, I really don't have my finances in order. So like I haven't even started my QuickBooks yet this year it's December 1st. Luckily, my manager at the office helps me with it every year, but I've got to categorize everything. And because TCF goes in there and categorizes it all for me completely wrong.
Oh,
I don't know why they do that.
there is a new tool that came in last year
Okay.
in QuickBooks that will allow you to override that and save it.
Okay.
So that, when you look at efficiency, that's one of my favorite pieces about QuickBook is they are constantly fighting that exact same battle
Okay.
because it pisses them off too.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. Okay.
And so anyway, they now have this ability and it'll pop up as you go forward.
Okay.
You still have to add it by hand. So you have a lot of just things, but once you go to category, so you're going to change it in the category, right? And then you're going to do it 3 times. If it sees you do it 3 times in QuickBooks, it's going to say, hey, do you want us to program that for you?
Mhm. Okay.
And it will remember it forever.
Okay.
So it will also remember different types of income, different trade partners that have to be in a different category. And it will also remind you on memos. So when you put into that save thing,
Mhm.
so one of mine is that we have a walking group, right? And that
Mhm.
walking group, I have just this random cup of coffee that I'm buying for somebody. So I can also program that if it's from this restaurant, it's for walking club.
Got it. Yeah.
So you can get a more robust piece. That that data for you, just to kind of take away the pain, it sounds like because it's all in there, that it's still automatically drawing the data in. You just have to categorize it. Yeah. So that piece for you on 12 months of stuff, you would want to take in 25-minute increments.
Okay.
And only go in on that 25 minutes and focus on the main pieces so that you can categorize them later. So if you have it's those monthly bills. It's the ones that are reoccurring. So I don't want you to go through and redo them all. I want you to just look at them and go, okay, what are the 12 things that I'm always coming up every month? So like constant contact is one. Right. Let me put that in marketing. Let me have that save in that category. And let me just go through and just look for constant contact. And you can search that. And then it'll add them all. And then you can click. And then you can click everyone in that category. So you don't have to go back and look at 12 of them. You can search for all 12, click one click, and it will add all 12.
Okay.
So it just snares it into your net. That's
what I need.
It just snares it right into your net. It's just magic. Okay, so efficiency, that piece for you, really, you only need about 20 minutes a month at your level. And once you get those things categorized, it will literally snap right into shape.
Right. Now, what I do wrong is I don't look at it all year, and then it's like, I don't know, if I looked at it every 3 months, I think it would be more seamless, but it gets stuck. And then I always have to call TCF or QuickBooks, and I don't know.
And the reason it's getting stuck is because QuickBooks will automatically put a hold on you and the bank over and over again because you're not logging in.
Right.
So you're manifesting your own pain.
Yes. Yes, I am.
So you want to log into that account because that you've now hit their safety measures.
Okay.
So if that account has not been logged into so many times, it will delete the banking information so that it's not available for theft.
Got it. So that'll be the first thing I have to do today.
Yep.
Yes.
Well, I would just log in. And again,
log
you
in.
don't have to do a ton of stuff, but you do have to log in regularly.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it will screw with your banking. Yeah, that's so annoying. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's me. Bad.
But it'll get better. Donna, what are you walking away with today?
I loved what Janet said, more than I want to admit.
Yeah.
I love that. And there was a lot here for me today. And in some ways, my valley the stagnancy, the anchoring that I've experienced started 1 year ago in December. And so now I'm like a whole year. I'm hopeful that it's in the rear view mirror somewhat. I'm beginning to see it in the rear view mirror. So, I mean, there's just so many things but it's this concept of everything, the buddy calls, this class, it's all pointing in the same direction. And I just love that when I don't get these contrasts, it's like, no, it's all pointing at this same thing. And so I don't have any confusion about what I need to do. And then like fun up is the top of the list. And so it's like fun up. And I came into the year saying that, and I'm like, for me, this feels like a wrap up of a year and hopefully a chapter that will make sense at some point in my life and whatever, but I don't have to make sense of it right now. I just have to like look at where things are pointing and just move in that direction. You know, the message in the mess. I go back to Sandy's, like, I had my most successful year ever. It's like, yeah, there's a backstory there. And now I have a backstory. Yep. And there's something about this point of magnification. And then when you said a big business, the division's coming to the point that this is the same conversation, just from different angles. There's something about that that's just really like, like, right. That's I'm still thinking about that. And then there were all these other things that came up in the meeting. So there's a lot today.
I do want to point out that piece for you as well, that when you mentioned the buddy calls and those spaces that we were on, they all had other private sessions as well. So Ty invests in her buddy calls at a significant rate. So those people who really, instead of Tanya and all those other people, that we spent a lot of time on their infrastructure. Yeah. So exactly what you're doing is the right answer. So Karen Carson, what are you taking away? The golden star.
I just want to remind you that this is all practical magic. And because I lost you at the beginning, I didn't get a chance to start it out the way I wanted to, which was to, I've been studying the tarot again. So I drew a card for this meeting, and I drew the Magician, which is about what you need to do what you need to do. And I thought that was pretty interesting because I drew it before the meeting. And it tells you that you have everything you need to do what you want to do, and that this signifies a time in your life when you have the ability to manifest. So I guess my message is magnify, you guys. And I have a lot of stuff there that would be nice if it wasn't there, but I have financial stuff too. So sigh.
Well, I'll tell you something from my own life as well, is that every time I teach one of these classes, I have to look right in the mirror as well. And I literally am like, okay, I need to do this and this and this and this. Because a lot of times I'm spending time on everybody else's business models. And again, it's really easy to do for others before we do for ourselves. And so don't forget, I learn as well.
Great.
And it's especially, I think it's really, a lot of the prosperity model isn't physical stuff. It's what is in here that determines what happens to you. And so I'm saying practical magic. You're the magician.
What is the story that matters? That was a big one.
What is the story that matters?
There's lots of stories, but what's the one that matters?
Yeah. And when we look at that, again, I think that's one thing to really talk about for yourself, right? What is the story that matters in why you started this business and why you made these choices and how you grew? There's a lot here. There's a lot here.
We send love to Jamie, and car trouble sucks, and I just want to send you some love and energy. Get through your day.
Right, right. It's been a big day. So Jamie,
Yeah.
we're so glad that you're here, even when you
Yes.
are late.
I'm glad you're here.
I don't think that setting example isn't rubbing off on us. And plus that you fought for that contract and have the partner that helps you do that, you know, by like telling us that, you might have saved us all that.
And I took a quick look at your website that is coming soon, and it's very beautiful.
Oh, I haven't looked it up yet. Okay.
It's my new venue.
Oh, is it? Oh, is this the land?
No, this is another venue. The land isn't done yet, but we did get the house taken down, but this is just another venue.
Okay, I'm putting it in right now.
I put it in. It's in.
Opening. Oh, okay. Well, the photography's great. Okay, it's getting there. It's getting there.
Yeah, it'll have like where you'll be able to like have a portal and pay for everything online. There's once you have booked, then you can do everything from the portal. So you can order, you can get your floor plans, you can pay your bill.
Right. What's your timeline for that build? Because there's a lot to do on that site yet.
Well, it's there. He's building it now, like the CRM system or
Yep, the CRM. Yep.
Okay, yeah. So he's building it now, and then I just had a styled shoot, and I have another one. So finish getting our pictures and our video, and it's being built out too in phases. The place it's ready to go now, but it's also being built out. So we also are going to have an interactive video that's going to show what it looks like and then what it'll look like in the finished product.
Yep.
So yeah, we have a gentleman who's building that all for us, but it took me about a week to like answer pages of questions he had to make the system work right. I didn't know it was that intense, and there's two types of websites, something website and then a simple website and a dynamic website.
Dynamic website.
Yep.
Yeah.
So he's
They're a lot
building up
harder.
a dynamic website. There we go.
Yeah.
And
They're a lot harder.
that also has to do with the amount of traffic that site will have. And that's why he needs to determine that.
Yeah.
So, and those are the types of things also that I think are important to share. So I'm glad we took a little extra time. Okay, any final questions for me, you guys?
What's for lunch?
What's for lunch? I don't know. I don't know.
Thank you.
I don't know. But thank you. I will see you soon. Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
And don't forget, have your friends come. This is your chance.
Yeah.
Okay.
I will.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.